Hi, it's Miriam from Own Your Lay Integrative Therapy. I want to share today something that comes up a lot. I've noticed it with myself in my journey and with clients as they're healing and becoming more and more connected to their authentic, true self. A pattern or something that they'll notice is a feeling of jealousy or competition to others. And there could be a lot of shame around that, a lot of feeling of embarrassment, of how could that be that I'm jealous of other people, that I'm noticing others and I'm feeling, ooh, like, oh wow, I wish I had that. And it could bring up a lot. And I want to kind of reframe that because it's so important to see it really for what it is and to break down the pattern and understand the pattern, because of course there's no need to shame, and it's important to hold those feelings and hold that awareness, because there's a lot of information there that could really help bring healing to us. So what is the root of shame or competition? So really at its source, what is it? Is that a person is evaluating themselves based on others. There's an external locus of evaluation where a person for many years, based on codependent attachment styles from growing up, became disconnected from themselves and always saw and looked outside of themselves to find their value and their worth. So when a child is not given space to communicate their feelings, their emotions, and they have to really fit into what the parent wants of them and how they feel that the parent wants them to act or feel, and they're scared to express their true selves, what happens is that a child could lose connection to their true self, to their authentic self, and they become in this codependent style, this codependent attachment pattern. And therefore, when a person is always looking outside of themselves, looking at others, looking externally to evaluate themselves, they get stuck in that framework. And then others could seem like a competition, could seem like a threat, could seem like a challenge. And that's really at the source of where that comes from. So just that awareness of, wow, that's coming up. I'm noticing some jealousy, I'm noticing some competition. There's no reason to shame myself. Just hold myself with compassion and hold myself and say, wow, I know where that came from. And when we bring that awareness to it, there's so much more tenderness and softness around those feelings. Now, another thing that develops within a person is that of that codependent attachment pattern where you're looking outside of yourself, is really a scarcity mindset. When a person feels like there's not enough to go around, maybe again, their needs weren't met as a child, where they needed some support, it could be emotionally, and they weren't able to get that, they shut their needs down. Or maybe physically, materially, they weren't able to be provided for and to be given things that they needed or desired or wanted. Very often that develops a scarcity mindset where we feel in a way that there's just not enough to go around. And so if someone else has something, that means I don't have it. And what that does is create a mindset of that. And that very often causes us to look at others as a threat instead of as seeing the value, and that if they have something, that doesn't mean that I can't have it. And really that goes down to, there's different ways of really seeing things, that we can look at things based on energy. And when we look at things based on energy, again, we're not at a time in history where we have free energy, then where there's an abundant amount of energy to go around, unlimited, which we are coming to in the time of the redemption, there is a limit. So for example, if I have $20 and in my bank and I give that $20 to a friend, to someone else, what happens? I have less and they have more. And that's when we look at things based on energy, there is higher and lower. But when we start coming out of this energy way of looking at ourselves, looking at the world, and we come to a place really of a higher level of consciousness, of an information consciousness, of an awareness consciousness. There's no me and you higher, lower. If I have information, like right now, I'm sharing with you information, I don't lose anything myself from sharing this information. I have this information. It's something that I've integrated, I've thought about, and now I'm sharing this information with you. So we both win. We both have the information. It's not like energy where I gave something of myself, I have less, you have more. And that's another really shift of perspective to really start shifting out of energy and collateral mindset into a much higher godly mindset of consciousness, where we have a piece of God. It's called Chelek Elokal Mimal Mamish, a literal piece of God within us, our soul. And our soul is infinite. So when we start seeing ourselves for really what we are, which is an infinite piece of God within us, a godly soul within us, we start seeing ourselves from a higher perspective. And then again, jealousy, competition, there's no I have less, you have more. We see each other from a place of how can I contribute to you? How can I contribute to society? Because if I have information, if I have a consciousness, if I have awareness that I've learned based on my experiences, by me sharing that, and by you having that information, I don't have any less. I'm just making the world a greater place. I'm making the world a more godly place. I'm contributing to society, and I'm not losing something from it. I'm only gaining, because when you gain, I gain. We elevate the world. We see the world from a much higher perspective, from a much more godly, infinite perspective. Another piece that I want to share for people that are working through feelings of jealousy, competition, and some a practical tool that you could do to really help yourself come into this more higher level consciousness, higher level awareness, really is gratitude. Gratitude is a great way to really shift ourselves to this higher level of consciousness, of abundance consciousness. Because human nature is to see ourselves really as what we don't have, what we lack. It's human nature. And that's why it says that when we wake up in the morning, the first thing that a person should do is say Modeh Ani, where we thank God for what we do have. Right away, we're aligning ourselves with that godly consciousness. As the Jewish people, we're called Yehudim. Yehudim comes from the root word hod. Hod literally means acknowledgement. We're acknowledging the source of our blessing, and the source of our blessing is infinite, is abundant. So it's not that when we see things from that perspective, it's not what I don't have, it's what I do have. And it explains in different places in Chassidus and in Tanya that the more a person thanks God for what they do have and for the blessings that they do have, and the more we open ourselves to really express that and to notice that, the more we have hod and gratitude, the more we open ourselves up for the abundant blessing that God really has in store for us. And the more deeply we connect to our authentic selves, the more deeply we value ourselves based on our true worth, our true essence, and connect deeper and deeper to ourselves. And then other people are not a threat. Other people are an asset. Other people expand us, and we expand ourselves from learning from others, from growing from others, from sharing with others, because when we share with others, we make the world a brighter place, a more beautiful place, and then they share their perspective with us, and when they share with their perspective with us, wow, we expand our consciousness from it, and they don't lose, we don't lose. It's a way of really refining the world, bringing the world to a greater place, to a higher level of consciousness, and a higher level of awareness. I hope that was helpful for you. Please leave any questions or comments in the comment section below, and wishing you all a very beautiful day.